So Chris, can you tell us why you're here and not Ken?
Yeah, Ken just got a family issue that he's got to deal with right now, so he'll be fine. No one needs to worry. I won't be coaching the team on Sunday, so he'll be back tomorrow.
Just some notes from the track, Chris. Fantasia walk laps in his tracksuit. How's he?
Yeah, so Raz won't come with us to Perth. As I think he mentioned on the radio this morning, he just pulled up a little bit sore on Wednesday, unfortunately right at the end of training. So we assessed him over the last 36 hours, and he's got just a minor sort of rec fem sort of strain that will probably keep him out for this week, and we'll reassess next week.
How frustrating is it for him?
Yeah. In fairness, he's doing as much as he possibly can. His body's letting him down at the moment. But clearly, really frustrated. But we'll give him the best opportunity to come back again.
Have you had to change anything? I guess with Fantasia, I know last time we kind of spoke in front of the media, you said we're hoping to get him back to full fitness. Have you had to kind of change anything, or will you now look to change anything, given it's been a bit of a concern over the last year and a bit?
No, well, look, the positive thing right now is that his knee's not the issue anymore. So, he went through a significant period of time where his knee was a bigger issue than anything else. He's now, having some soft tissue troubles, which are coming, mainly because of his lack of conditioning. So, we're going to have to keep working on, what it looks like. It wasn't done in a game. He ticked off all of the speed numbers and all that sort of stuff that he needed to be available for this week, but it just hasn't been for him.
So the soft tissue stuff, it isn't stemming from the knee, it's just a lack of, match fitness?
Well, I imagine it could be stemming from a whole heap of things. I mean, the reality of him not being able to do much work during pre-season was his knee. So, it all comes back to that, but his situation right now is not his knee, it's this soft tissue injury.
Raz had a history of injury issues when you brought him into the side. Is there any disappointment now that it's continued in that way?
No, not at all. I mean, to suggest that a player isn't doing everything he possibly can to come back is just flat out wrong. And, we knew that Raz had a history of injury before he came to us, but our reality is we wanted him to come. We need to get him fit. We need to keep working to achieve that.
He looked pretty good for the first season. I think he only had that minor knee injury towards in the finals. I guess, are you confident that he can get back to, what it was that first season, where he was able to play most of the games?
Yeah, we're confident, but he hasn't been able to yet. So, the proof will be in the pudding, won't it?
Chris, you kept McKenzie in the 18 and Cleary on the extended bench. What's the thinking there with your key defenders?
Yeah, I think right now, Trent remains in the team. So, unfortunately for Klaz, he was out with the health and safety protocols last week. His reality is we'll need to get him back. He's still been battling a bit of a knee issue as well, so we're monitoring him from a training perspective. But right now, Trent retains his spot.
Chris Blues, DVJ for honour, or do you want to tweak anything else?
Yeah, so look, as you say, Darcy comes back in for Riley. We're fortunate that Riley probably only will be a couple of weeks. He hasn't had any plates put in his cheek or anything like that. And from our perspective, we're really pleased that Jace Bergelin's going to get a spot this week. So he's going to come into the team, and we had some fantastic content earlier today with Sean, getting him to tell him that he was playing, and then some stuff with Peter and Anne-Marie after. So, it was a really good story for the club, and, we're really pleased for him.
As an analysis, his form and sample has been very good.
Yeah, we think he's been fantastic. Jace has been one who has always been able to rise to the level that he's been playing, whether it was under 18 level, he was getting the ball regularly. We saw him progress into reserves footy and then into league footy. He's been doing some great work for us, and we're really confident that he's now in a position to be in our AFL team. He's obviously still got some work to do on his body, but we think he's going to get through fine.
What role do you think he'll have, Chris?
Oh, look, he'll play in the similar sort of role that he's been playing at SANFL level, half back, sort of pushing up the ground where he can. As I say, for all of our people, it would be great content this afternoon when it gets released, and just such a fantastic story for the Burgoyne family.
He's gone above expectations. He was it seemed like at the start of the year he was very raw, and almost midway through the year he was playing AFL. It's a quick progression. Yeah, well,
he may have exceeded yours. The expectations from our perspective were that he was a really good player coming into our club. Yeah, he was slight. He still is slight, but that's something that comes over time. There's not too many people coming in looking like you did, Hazy, when you played early in their career. So we're rapt to see him progress over the next couple of years.
So is 22, 23 locked in for Fremantle at the moment? Or
Yeah,
are you
look,
waiting on anyone?
No, it's locked in. We obviously just finished training, so the guys will work. They'll finalise that over the next little bit. I've given you some information here. Robbie will play, so that's another one that'll come in for us, and we'll finalise everything later on today.
Chris Connolly left the track halfway through training, pointing to something behind his right knee.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of soreness. We don't think he's in any issue whatsoever.
But it's just not ready.
Yeah, so Butsy earlier in the week just struggled with a bit of change of direction. So, you know, we were hopeful that he might be back. He's obviously pushing really hard to be back, but the reality is he just wasn't ready to come up for this week. We're hopeful of next week now, but he's going to have to do, you know, a little bit of training now in between now and then.
Tommy Jonas all right? I think he was just doing mainly running today.
Yeah, Tom was fine. Yeah,
Will you send Mott back to the sample?
Well, Motts will remain in the squad, so yeah, we'll finalise that over the next 4 or 5 hours.
How many did you take? 20?
I reckon we'll take maybe 25 or 26. We get COVID tested before we actually leave on the flight, so it won't be a COVID issue necessarily by the time we get over there. But you know, we still do have some things that we need to work through now, just based on training.
Lycett managed minutes this week?
Look, I think Scott's less likely than more. You know, we're probably going to get him to do some stuff later on today, away from the group. I think at this stage he's probably less likely at his AFL level than likely.
We're going to see, I guess, a kind of continuation of the second half last week with Charlie probably playing a bit more ruck, given that Sean Darcy's a bit bigger body like Wicks.
Oh, not necessarily. You know, we'll go in with using the people that we've used previously, and we'll see how the game pans out. I mean, you know, we'll make decisions during the game as to, you know, the way that the game's actually going at that point in time, and focus more heavily on, you know, maybe Charlie or Jez or Pep doing some ruck work. It's really just to see how the game actually transpires.
7-7 now. I guess how are you kind of viewing this game? I know the last two games have almost become elimination finals, early elimination finals. Is this the same amongst the group, or do you just go 1 week? Yeah, I think it's cancelled 1 week at a time.
Yeah, it's pretty boring, isn't it? 1 week at a time. But I mean, I would have thought that our last 9 have been elimination finals after starting 0 and 5. I mean, you guys are the ones who are labelling them in elimination finals. We've known if we put ourselves behind the 8 ball, we've got some work to do. But you know, each week I'm rapt with the way that the coaches and the players have been able to lower their eyes, because there was obvious potential for the season to go horribly wrong at that point. We've managed to get ourselves back into a spot, but we know that there's a lot of work to still be done.
How is Robbie Gray in the sense, what's he improved in the past week? Training loads, direction, what's happened for him?
Yeah, so really an ability to train, Rich. You know, unfortunately for a decent period of time, you know, we were managing Robbie from a training perspective and trying to get him through games, but the reality was, you know, he just couldn't. Even someone as good as Rob, you know, gets to a point where if you don't train, you start to look out of nick. So really pleased that Robbie's been able to put 3 or 4 weeks worth of training together now, and we're pleased to get him back this week.